I was just sitting here thinking about, the vlog and me speaking out about this issue and just how difficult that it is to live with something like this impacting, your life and your child's life. Um, and I was thinking, you know, like how hard it is for me when people ask me how many children do you have, and you know I tell them I have 4 children, and they inquire more depending upon who it is that you're speaking with, whether it's the financial aid officer or financial aid representative, at my college, or the teachers at my younger kids' school, um, or the friends, parents of my younger children, on play days or at birthday parties, and they say, so you have 3, right? Or do you have 2? Or, and you say, no, I have 4. And they're like, okay, well, where's the 4th? And then you have to explain, where your child is and why your child is there. And what are you doing? What do you say when people ask? Do you say, do you lie? Do you um, minimize it? Do you try to think of, okay, well, if someone asks me where so and so is, this is what I'm going to say? Or do you stand firm in your choices and then the decisions that you have made for your family? And do you be honest? And how confident will you be with living in that truth? And it is very difficult for me to explain that my child is in the hospital, and it's extremely hard for me to explain why he's in the hospital, because to this day it's still heartbreaking for me. People ask me, like, you're so strong, and I talk about it, and when I'm alone like this here, I can speak, and I don't have the frog in the back of my voice. I am not um, worried about judgment. The judgment comes later. I'm not worried about, oh, what is this person going to think? I don't have that anxiety. I can speak my truth. I can live in it. I can express myself about it. But it's difficult. It's difficult. I was recently at a birthday party of one of my younger children's classmates, and I was talking to one of their friends' moms, and she has a son that's 14, and to just look into this kid's eyes and to see the joy and just the happiness, to just see him being a child, being a kid, and for me to have a child that's a year older than him and to have never ever experienced that was a moment. I had a moment then. I didn't break down. I didn't cry. We're at Chuck E. Cheese. Kids are running around and having a good time. But it just became so real. I had never even thought about that until that moment. When I called my mother the next day and I explained to her, like, wow, like, these, like, his is crazy, because I have a 15-year-old, and I've never experienced him as, just a 15-year-old, just being a kid. Like, I don't know what that feels like, and it's so sad to it's so sad to live and to know, that your child's innocence and their joy, their life has been taken away from them, because though I believe and I trust and I have faith that God is going to restore my child's life and, replace the people that, was taken away, and replace the happiness and the joy, even though I believe that, this part of his life he will forever have. This will never not be a part of his life. This will never be something that is forgotten. This is not something that was a story that he wrote when he was in the second grade, and oh wow, I forgot about that. Oh, Mom, you kept that story all these years? No. It's not like that. This is something that is forever with him. This is a memory that is branded into his mind. This is not something that he will ever forget. This is an experience that is forever with him, and that will affect his choices, the way that he do things. It will affect, and it has affected, his self-esteem, the way that he view himself is affected at this moment. Every single aspect of his life, his freedom is taken away from him right now, and that's big. This is huge. Like these are conversations that we need to have with each other. I am not the only mother whose child is in a residential facility right now for similar reasons. I am not the only mother whose child is away from them right now. I am one of many. There were many before me. There are many with me, and there will be many after me. And my goal in sharing my story and being so open with the world about our journey and our walk, my family's walk, is to be of some service and to be able to help to make it okay to have conversations like this, to give some support, to give some advice, to, even if it's just, hang in there, sister. I know how difficult it is. I understand. Let me explain to you what happened, or how I got through it, or what worked for me, or if it's, let me give so-and-so a call. I've met several people throughout this process. Some of them, I still have their contact information, and some of them never in their life want to ever see me again. However, I have some contacts. So whether it's, let me contact so-and-so for you to see, if they would be willing to, or what would they advise, or, I've met a lot. I've met a lot of people throughout this, so I just want to open myself up and to be of service, to others. I never want anyone, any family, any mother, any child to have to go through what myself and my child and my family have had to endure and go through, without having the proper help in place, or some type of system developed to help, because the system that's in place right now is not developed to help our families. This is not just my son's thing or issue, or problem. This is not My son is not in this world alone where his actions are only affecting his life. No, his choices and his decisions and his actions and his words, they affect not only my life but the lives of my younger three children. His decisions have affected um, my nieces and my nephews, my sisters and my brothers, my mom, you know. So this goes way beyond, just my eldest. My one of my younger sons is having a extremely difficult time due to the absence of my eldest son. And so these are just some discussions and some conversations that we need to begin to have more often, and that we need to become comfortable with having, because people don't want to speak about things like this. No one, this is always hush hush. You know, with my family it was, with the other side of the family it was, with some friends of mine it is, like it's hush hush. No one wants to speak of it. You don't hear, a lot of discussion about this. You may hear, oh, so and so did this with so and so, but the discussion goes no further than that. Like, where are the stories of the recovery period? Where are the stories of the fight that the parents went through to make sure, that their child got the help that they needed? Where are the stories of, you know, the path or the journey of, this child's life being restored back to him, or how did he make it through? Where is he now that he's an adult? What things did he struggle with after the initial abuse? Like, all of these things, like, we don't hear these things, like, I didn't have I didn't have anyone to hold my hand through this process and say, okay, Leah, now this is how hard this is gonna be, and this is what you're gonna face when you get to this point. When this happened, I 100% fully expected to have the support of every therapist, every doctor, every entity that I dealt with regarding this. I fully expected to have their 100% support. But comes to find out, no, honey, it's not like that. This is something that is just, like, it was crazy. It was unreal. And it was so unreal that I was enraged. Like, when I say there are certain people who never want to see me again in their life, like, this is the truth, because they saw the wrath of me. And people listen to me, they look at me, and I'm a tall person, but I'm a very slender person and very friendly, I'm well spoken. And so they say, oh my goodness, like, I can't imagine you behaving or reacting in a certain way. But when it's regarding my child, yeah, and so, like, it's been difficult to go through these things, and to have to even say that you're fighting, to say my fight, to say I want to put my story out there so that I can help others through their fight. To have to use fight in the same conversation as, this subject. It's sad. It's sad, but it's true. And if we as a nation do not begin to draw more attention to this area, then this fight is going to continue and continue and continue, because as of right now, this is not a high priority on the lawmakers list, but it's a high priority to me. And if you are dealing with me and dealing with my child, it better be a high priority to you. But everyone doesn't have my determination, persistence. I don't take no for an answer in certain situations. And in situations regarding my child with this abuse and getting treatment for it, no. We're not just, oh, well, you just go over here somewhere and, oh, he'll be okay and we'll just hope. Oh, no, honey. You're going to help him. And if you don't, then the blood that is left on his hands after he does whatever it is that he does, because he's so disturbed because he didn't get the proper treatment to deal with these issues, that same blood is going to be on your hands. So yeah, if it's a high priority to me regarding mine, it's definitely, it better be a high priority to you on your list for however long that you're working with us. And if you don't want it or are unwilling to allow it to be a high priority on your list, then you better excuse yourself from this case. This is just how this is just how it have to be, you know. It's crazy. It's crazy. So crazy. So crazy, you know.